Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we're going to make 3 different types of necklaces using seashells as the focal pieces. So our encouraging word for today is do your thing. And lately, my thing has been going to the beach and picking up shells. So I've been going to the beach every Monday. And so far, the East Coast beaches of Florida are not the greatest, but I have had a lot of fun and I've found some cute things. So I have made a bunch of kits, pendant kits, bracelet kits, and earring kits using these really pretty seashells that I've picked up. And today they're up on my website, all the kits are, and I'm going to do a tutorial for each type of thing basically that I've got in the kits. So today I'm going to do a tutorial for this beautiful, and excuse the paint on my hands, I've been painting mushrooms and I can't get it off. But I'm going to do a tutorial for this beautiful little scallop shell. I love these. I think they're so pretty. And I'm just going to make a pendant out of this guy. So this is what, if you buy the kit from the website, this is kind of what your kit would look like. Now, they're not all the same, but it would have a focal shell. It would have some Coriana chain in it, matching color. It would have beads, usually, because I like to put pearls and shell beads with shells. It just kind of seems to fit. So it would have some beads in there. There would be 2 crimps for the pendants and 2 clamshell connectors and a lobster clasp. Now, they don't all have the rhinestone rondelles in there, but there are other things. Some of them have charms. They're all different. So today, we're going to work with 3 different types here, if we can get through all 3. If the video gets super long, then I'll have to split it up. But we're going to do this one first. So this little scallop shell, I want to just wear just like this. I think it's beautiful. Now you can all turn them over. You can hang things on the inside. We're going to do that on another one up here. But this one, I love this side of it. And so that's what I'm going to use. So I've got some shell beads here. These are mother of pearl shell. These are in a lot of the kits. I've got some pearls. I have some other shell beads here. So this is very similar of what you would get in your kit if you buy this. So and they're all drilled already, okay? But I'm going to show you how I drill them just so you know, but if you want to use your own shells. But the ones in the kits are all drilled already, okay? So this is a hand drill. I got this from Amazon. There is a different kind that has this thing that you push up and down on the end and it drills, and I like it better, but I haven't just spent the money to get it. So I'm still using this one. Sometimes, depending on the shell, I will use Chris's Black & Decker with the tiny drill bit on it, but this scallop shell is too fragile for that. So I'm afraid it would break it. It has to be like a thicker, more sturdy shell to use the automatic drill. But the hand drill works good for this, and to drill it, I just put it where I would like the hole to go, and I twist, just like this. Very carefully, okay? You don't want to do this, you want to be very careful. And I go back and forth like this, and then I twist some more. And then I, blow it off and check it, and I keep going. And I do this right on my bead mat usually, because when it goes through, I have another mat underneath here, that one, and so when it goes through, it won't poke into my table, but it kind of gives it some cushion, so maybe it won't break the shell. And you get very gentle when you feel that it's kind of ready to poke through, because you do not want to break it. Okay, and I think it's popping through now. So when it pokes through, just be very gentle, and there is our perfect little hole, okay? So let me grab a jump ring. I did neglect to get my jump rings out. What am I using? Rose gold. So on some of these, I would glue a bead cap right here. I'm going to do that on this one because this one came with this hole already in it. And so I would glue a bead cap over that because number 1, it's a big hole. And number 2, just to reinforce it. But this one I don't think needs that. And I'm just going to take a jump ring. And I'm going to hook it right to this jump ring. We'll see if this one will go through. Sometimes you have to use kind of a big one, but I think this one probably will work here. Yep, works just fine. I'm going to close him up. And there we have a beautiful little shell pendant. I love these little scallops. They are so pretty. So I'm going to take my Coriana chain and put it right through here. And now you just bead it like you want to. Most of these kits have some bead caps in them. I didn't pull out any bead caps on this one, but I think I'm just gonna try to go ahead. And the Coriana chain fits most beads. Okay, it will fit these pearls. I was kind of worried there that it wasn't gonna fit the pearl, but it does fit most beads, and I did check it. So if yours has Coriana, if your kit that you buy has the Coriana chain in it, most of them do. Some of them have the beading chain, but most of them have the Coriana. And I checked to make sure all the beads that are in your kits actually will work through the chain. So I'm going to add a little sparkle in with these rhinestone rondelles, just a little. I've only got a few of them, so I'm not going to do too many, but you know I like the sparkle. And then I'm just going to kind of go for the pinker ones of these to match the shell. And I just love the seashell jewelry. I think it is so pretty. And when I found this scallop, I was like, oh, I really want to make a necklace out of it. I love the scallops. They have such pretty little colors on them. And I don't find them very often. Like I said, the east coast of Florida is not the best for finding shells. Now, the west coast, I've heard, is amazing. And I do plan to take a trip to the west coast at some point, but I haven't had a chance to do that yet. It's about a 2.5-hour drive for me versus my east coast beaches are like 30 minutes. So usually when I get in the car to go to the beach, I am going to the east coast just because it's so close. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and do another mother of pearl shell. Now this Coriana chain is so pretty. You can bead all the way up it if you want to, or you can just bead a little bit and let the rest show. And that's what I'm going to do on this one because I just think it's beautiful. And I want some of it to show, but I definitely want to have some beads on here too. And this is how you can do, and a lot of the, like I said, I haven't found a lot of scallops, but I did have a few, and the ones that I found, I've put in some of the kits. So there are some really pretty scallop shell kits, and I like to, on the scallops, I like to either use them as bracelets, which I will show in a later video how to do that, or I like to just hang it as a necklace. Now, I'm not really liking, I don't know if I like those or not. I mean, they're cool, but I don't know if they're really going really well with this. So let me just put another one on and we'll take a look. They do draw out. They do draw out the redder or the more burgundy, but I don't think I really care for those. I'm going to take them off. Sorry. This is how design with me goes sometimes. Sometimes you take it and you lay it up next to everything and you think, oh yeah, it's going to be beautiful. And then when you go to put it on, you're like, ah, it doesn't look so great. So I'm just going to go back with my rhinestone rondelles here. And I've only got 2 of these rhinestone rondelles left. I looked through my whole container of rhinestone rondelles and I had like 3 of one that would match this in the kind of rose goldy tint. 3 of another one. I didn't have 4 of anything except for this one. And it matches pretty well. It's really gold, not rose gold, but you can't really tell once it's on there with the beads. Okay, let me get these out of the way because they just didn't work out with this. All right, so I've got 2 mother of pearl beads. Let's do another pearl on here. One more pearl. Okay. And one more rondelle. I'm actually going to Jacksonville this weekend. I know I've mentioned this in several of my videos. You guys are probably like, really? You have to say that again? But I'm excited about it because, number one, I get to meet my friend Robbie, who I've known for a while, but we've just talked mainly, her and I have just talked on the you know, the phone or through text or whatever. We've never met. So I'm really excited to get to meet her. And she hunts shark's teeth and finds, like, she successfully hunts shark's teeth. And so I'm excited to get to go and learn how to hunt shark's teeth. I think that's really cool. But I want to see what kind of shells they have up in the Jacksonville area too, because they're all different, I've heard. So I'm excited to do that. And then I'm coming back on Sunday. Okay, so I'm going to add a couple more beads. So I'm coming back on Sunday, and I'm going to spend the weekend there. And I'm coming back on Sunday, and usually I go to the beach on Monday, but after being gone, I probably won't go this Monday. But then the following Monday, which would be, I don't even know what date that would be. So hold on, let me look. Okay, so the following Monday would be July 3rd, which I definitely will not be going to the beach on July 3rd because it'll be just insane. But the following week will be July 10th, and I probably will go up to St. Augustine Beach. So if anybody, because I want to try that beach out, I've heard there's some good shelling there, and I don't know if it really is or not, but I'm going to go find out. So if anybody lives in the St. Augustine area, and you would like to walk the beach with me one day, looking for shells, then drop me a note. I will put my emails in the bottom of in the description box of all my videos. So yeah, I'd like to get together if anybody wants to. Okay, so here's what we've got. I've beaded up this far. I kind of like this, just like this. I would like to have a couple of rose gold spacer beads or something to kind of give this a finality. These are pretty, and these are some little rondelles I just had sitting here. I don't think these will fit on the Coriana chain, though. They're teeny tiny little holes. Oh, you know what? They do. That's a pretty ending to that. I'm just going to stick one of these on each side. These are just some little tiny, like 3mm rondelles that are actually set aside for another project, but they're gonna, if this one will go on. Sometimes they want to go on, but they can't. Let me see if I can find one. That one went on just fine, so let me see if there's one with a little bit bigger hole. They tend to be drilled differently sometimes, and you have to play around to find one with a big enough hole. And this chain might be a little bit kinked too because it's been in my drawer, like underneath a bunch of other chains. So why are you not wanting to work? Okay, let's see. Let's go this way. And I may trim that chain down just a little bit to see if I can get one of these beads on, because they really do give it like a nice little final ending there. I like that. It just makes it look complete. Let me see if this one will go on. It looks like it has a pretty big hole. Yeah, this chain might be kind of like kinked right here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Alrighty, so we got that on. See how that just kind of, I don't know, I just like it. I think it looks good. Okay, so now, these kind of necklaces that are not tassels, I like tassels to be really long, obviously, most people do. These kind of necklaces, this is not a tassel, so I just don't want it to be really long. And this kind of a necklace, I usually like about 23 inches. So where's my ruler? It's gone. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I'm probably going to do about 12 inches per side. That would make it 24. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay. So that right there is about 12 inches per side. So I'm actually, I'll pull this up just a little. And I might do about, yeah, 13 inches per side, just to be safe. Just make sure I have enough room. Okay, I'm going to trim that off. So I've got 13 inches per side. Let me hold this up, just to be sure. Should have done that before I trimmed it. Yeah, that's good. Okay. It looked short for some reason, but it's not, I don't guess. Okay, so in your kits, you will have 2 clamshell connectors and 2 crimp beads. if you're doing this kind of a necklace. So this is how this works, okay? Super simple. You can use some E6000 glue, and since I've got mine laying out here, I probably will. Just because I like the extra security it gives, but I've really never had a problem. I mean, I've made hundreds of necklaces with this technique and just not really ever had a problem. But I'm going to do the glue just to be safe. So I've got some E6000. You don't have to do this. This is just a little extra step. Just going to put a little bit out here and put the cap on because this stuff just leaks right out. I don't know. Okay, so if you got your little clamshell, you're going to take it and you're going to insert your Coriana chain up underneath it. Now this is the rose gold clamshell. It has an open loop. The rest of them are closed. You'll see them in the next necklaces. Whoops. But this one has an open loop. Okay, so I'm going right to, not to the very end of my chain, but right, you know, leaving about that much. And I'm just going to smash this crimp tube down. You want to smash it down firmly, but not enough to cut your chain. So pull on it. If it doesn't come off, you're in good shape. If it comes off, then you've not done it good, and you want to redo it. Okay, where did my... Yeah. And then I'm just going to take my little toothpick here, and I'm going to coat that little crimp right inside there, inside this clamshell, pretty liberally with my glue. Okay, then I'm just going to close this right up, and when you close it up, a little bit of glue is going to come out. That's fine. That is going to definitely secure that in there. When that dries, and I'm coming off the little edge of chain there. When that dries, it's not going to go anywhere because that E6000 is going to be coating the whole inside of the shell and the crimp. Okay, so now you've got your little loop there and you have to roll it down. So you just take your pliers and just roll it under. Just make a little loop. There you go. That's that simple. So we're going to do our other side. Same thing. Stick it right up through there. Put my crimp on. And you can use your cheapo crimps for this, like the little round ones, but I put tubes in everybody's if I had tubes in your color. I think some of the copper ones, I didn't have crimp tubes. I had to use beads, but for the most of the kits, I did the crimp tubes just because I think they're a little bit more secure and a little bit better quality. Okay, we're going to coat this guy. And just close it up. Okay, and we'll take our little round nose plier and close that loop. All right, so there's our little ending. Now we need a couple of jump rings, and I put big jump rings in your kits to hook your pendants on, but I did not include tiny jump rings. You'll have to do the tiny jump rings on your own, but most everybody has those, but I didn't know if everybody would have the big ones, so I went ahead and put the big ones in. And I'm going to get a larger one to put my lobster onto, maybe that one. And then a smaller one I'm going to hook my lobster on with the smaller one, and then I'm going to have the bigger one for it to clasp onto. I don't think that made sense what I was saying. Put my lobster onto, yeah, okay. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and just insert this here, put my lobster on, close it up. And this bigger one is just going to be for my lobster to clasp onto. Now, if you wanted to use an extender chain, you could. You know, you could put some link chain on as an extender. You put it right on here. But I don't need it because this is for me and I know my exact size that I like. And there you go. So just the one thing you do want to make sure is that you have this rolled under really good, okay? This, where this... And most of them are the closed loop, but I cannot find these in closed loop for rose gold. So it has the open loop, but you just roll it under there. And there's our little connection. And here is our beautiful little scallop necklace. And totally unique. Nobody's going to have this because each little seashell is completely unique. Okay, so that is one way. That's the way of just taking the shell and hanging it directly on there, just showing its beauty in the shell part. And now I'm going to show you how to use a flat shell, okay? So let me set this guy aside. And that is this, and I think these are so pretty. I don't know if these are just pieces. I guess they're just pieces of shells, but look how gorgeous. They're beautiful. So for this one, we're going to hang a charm in front of it. And this is what your kit would come with if you had this type of shell in your kit. So I put a charm with a lot of these. This, I'm using the copper beading chain, okay? This is a little different than the Coriana. It's beading chain. It's a little thicker. Not a lot. Still, a lot of beads will go right on it. I've got these flat mother of pearl shell Hishi beads. And then I have some these are just other shell pieces. I just laid this stuff out. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to use. I had some bead caps, and so I might pull in, because I don't have any round beads. I'm not sure why I pulled out a bunch of bead caps. I don't have any round beads here. Who knows? But I do have these. Oh, I do have these. These I was going to use. I'm sorry. So these are some mother of pearl shell beads also. I'm like totally not with it. And then here are the crimp and the clam shells, and I will show you. These are the regular crimps, so if you have an antique copper in your kit, that's what it's going to come with, are just the regular little bead crimps instead of the tubes, okay? Alrighty, so let me pull out a jump ring for this guy, because I didn't, and he needs one for sure. Okay, wonder if that'll fit on there. Okay. So for this one, I'm just going to insert the jump ring if it'll fit. This is a thick jump ring, but I like it. I don't know if it's big enough, though, for this. No, I think I'm going to have to go a little bit bigger and thinner. I don't have a lot of copper. That's a little bit rare in my stash. So let me see if this one, if I can make this one work. It really needs to. See, I don't have anything else bigger. I mean, I do, but they're thick, really thick. I don't think they'll work. So, okay, I'm gonna try this. If this doesn't work, I'll show you what we do. But let me see if it'll work. Yeah, it's too thick. Okay, so if you run into something like this, hold on just a second. All right, so if I run into an issue like this, I go to my chain stash. So here is a piece of link chain. It's still all hooked together, but I'm gonna take this oval piece off and see if it'll work. Now it may be too thick, but I may be able to make the hole a little bit bigger in my thing. Let me see if I have any other. So you can take your link chain apart and use it as a jump ring if you need to, if you don't have jump rings that are the size that you need, which I do not. So I don't see anything else that's going to work. So let's try this. I bet it's going to be way too thick. So let me take my hand drill and go through here with this. See if I can make it a little bit bigger. It looks like I can. I do have different size drill bits for this hand drill, so I could always, you know, try to get a bigger one out. See a piece of my shell chipped off there. You have to be kind of careful, but this is a pretty thick shell already. Okay, now let's see if this will work. Yep, it sure will. So we're going to close this guy up. And that's what you can do. If you don't have a jump ring that works, then get in your link chain and see if you have something. So this is an oval jump ring. If I can get it around here to the, I say it's going to work. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. It needs to go around to the oval part to look right. There we go. Okay, and you do have to be kind of gentle because, you know. All right, now we've got this starfish here, and I'm going to hang him on, but I'm going to use an eye pin, and I'm going to hang him down just a bit because I want him to show up really good down here, and I'm going to put a couple beads right here coming down to him. So I think I will use my bead caps for this. I'm going to do bead cap, one of these really pretty mother of pearl shell beads, hopefully, if they'll go in this. They do. Okay, and another bead cap. Okay, and you know what, I think I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to do a piece of this shell and this shell. And then this little bead cap, mother of pearl bead cap. Yeah, that's pretty. And that's going to hang that down enough to where it will show the starfish better. So I would like to make a wrapped loop for this because I just feel like it's more secure. And so I'm going to go up and over. I'm going to take this under, and then I'm going to go ahead and insert it right here so I don't have to open my jump ring again. I think I maybe didn't make the loop big enough, but I think I did. Maybe I didn't. All right, let's do this. Let's make this loop a little bigger. There we go. That'll definitely go on there. And I'm just going to insert it right onto the chain link or jump ring. It's a jump ring now, right? And I'm going to close this up, this loop up, grabbing it with my chain nose pliers. And with my other chain nose plier, I'm just going to wrap. Okay. Now, this does not have to be, you don't have to go around a whole big lot of times. I'm just going around enough to secure it so I know it's not going to come undone. So like one whole turn and maybe half another. Something like that. Okay. I'm going to trim this little snaggle off right here. And that's it. So there that is. And now I can just hook my starfish directly to it. I can do it either that way or I can use a jump ring, and I think I'm just going to hook it directly on. I do need to make sure that the front of it's hanging right there. Let's see. I think that's right. Okay, we'll see. Closing that loop back up. And there it is. And that's, let me get this situated a little bit better. There we go. And that's kind of what I wanted it to do. I wanted him to hang down just a little bit. So there that is. And now we're going to take our beading chain, put it right through here. Okay. And see, you could also use the back of this. It's so pretty, but the front I like because it has that purple. Okay. And now my beading chain is in a knot. Let me get it out of a knot. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take my beading chain, and now I'm just going to bead on this chain, just like we did on the other one. Let's see what we want to do. I need something, yeah, I'm going to use a Hishi bead on each side, so that will keep, because if I use these other beads, it's going to float, because they're small, and that's a big loop. So we'll do this, one on each side, and then I'm going to do a couple of these. Now these you have to pick and choose because they do have really small holes. I didn't put any of these in the kits with this beading chain just because it doesn't look like they're going to work anyway. Let me try these. This is a little bit, these have a little bit bigger holes. We'll do this one. Yeah, they go through. So, but like I said, I did check all the beads that I put in the kit. So your beads will fit your chain. You don't have to worry. There we go. And I think I will do one more Hishi bead here. This is so pretty. I love these love shell jewelry so much. And put this one in. And all these shells, just so you know, they've all been picked up on the shores of either North Carolina or Florida, because some of these I did pick up in North Carolina. My favorite beach to go to in North Carolina was Topsail, because it's not crowded and had lots of really cool shells. Love Topsail Island. I missed that one. And the one I've been going to here in Florida is actually in New Smyrna Beach. It's called Bethune Beach, but I'm not finding much there. A few things, but not a lot. So I don't know that I'll keep going to that one. I may go up to Ormond or I'm going to try St. Augustine, and we'll see what happens. Okay, So here we have it. We've beaded a little bit onto this shell. I'm going to put another one of these. I don't want to use a heck of a lot of those pink ones because they don't exactly match with my starfish. They're very close, but the starfish has a little bit more purple in it. I don't think it's super noticeable or anything, but I just would rather use more of the white and kind of accent with the pink. So that's what I'm going to do. Pour out a few more of these. And I don't know what kind of shell this is. I don't know if it's a piece of an oyster shell. Possibly. But they're very pretty, and they all have this like purple tint to them, or purple spot on the inside. They're just beautiful. I'm just going to do a couple more of these. I love this chain that you can just bead directly on. I think it's so awesome. Let's do another couple of the round mother of pearl beads. Whoops. I'll link my website below if you want to check out the kits. He's not wanting to go on this. Why are you not wanting to go on this? Sometimes, I mean, if there's any little kink in the chain, you may have to try to find one with a bigger hole, a bead with a bigger hole. It's been a ton of work getting these kits uploaded. First I had to put them all together, and they're all different. So I had to take pictures of each separate one, and I think I have like 40 of them total. Bracelets, pendants, and earrings all included in that 40. But so I have to get pictures of all of them. Then I have to upload them. Then they have to be resized because you can't put the huge pictures. They've got to be resized down. And then they all have to be uploaded to the website. First you upload them to the computer, then you resize them all. Then you upload them to the website, and then you have to go back and write all the descriptions for them. And, you know, each one has to have some individual attention. So it's like, oh my goodness, it's taken me days and days and days, and I'm still don't totally have them all up. So I will by the time this video comes up, though. I'll at least have all the pictures taken, and they're uploading to the computer as we speak. All right, I'm going to put one more little round bead on here. Oops. And that is going to be all I'm going to do on this one. So again, I'm just beading a little bit up the chain. Like I said, you can go as far up as you want, or you can just hang it on the chain. You don't have to bead it all up the chain. Let me get one that this guy will go on. Okay. All right. So here this is. Move these out of the way. And we finished this one the same way that we finished the last one. So we're just, but these clamshells are a little different. These have the closed loop. So we're just going up through the bottom again. Same as before. We've got our little crimp bead this time. It's not a tube because I don't have any copper. And we're just going to mash him down good and tight. Going to put a little glue. And I'm going to show several different videos on how to do the seashell jewelry. I've got some swirly shells. Some of those are in the kits as well. I've got some what look like snail shell pieces. So I'm going to do several. And then of course I'll do the bracelet and the earrings as well to show how you can use these different shells. They're just beautiful. I love the seashells. Okay, so same thing that we did before, just mashing that down, putting a little glue in there, closing it up. And again, I'm just going to grab a couple jump rings and let's see here, one for my lobster to clasp onto, which can be that one, and one to hook the lobster onto the project. I don't know if this one will go through this clam. I think it will. We'll see. It's a little thicker, but yeah, it goes through. Okay. So again, if you wanted to attach an extender, you could. And I have measured this, I'd measured this chain out ahead of time, so I know that it was long enough for me. I know I didn't say that, but I did check it. I just did stick that to my finger, or my hand. Okay, so here is our second one. Whoops. Very pretty. See that? That's how you can use a flat shell. And a lot of the kits have these. All right, now for our last one. This one's really pretty. We're going to use some link chain and the Coriana chain. I'm going to show you how to take a shell like this and hang a charm inside of it. So this is just a regular little oyster, I guess, shell, or I mean clam shell. I'm not familiar with the types very well. And what I'm going to do on this one, because it has a pretty big hole here, and I have, if I can find it, a bead cap here somewhere. Here it is. I'm going to take the E6000 and I'm going to glue this bead cap right around this hole. And the only reason that I'm doing that is just to give it some stability, so it will be nice and sturdy on there. So I'm just going to take it, go all around the hole with the glue. Okay. I'm going to take my little bead cap and set him right there. And when he dries, he's just going to give that some stability. So I'm going to set that right there. Now, I'm going to make a little dangle. So I've got this beautiful little abalone shell piece and this freshwater pearl. So I'm going to wire wrap my freshwater pearl. I have it on a ball head pin because freshwater pearls have really small holes, so you don't have much choice but to use a ball head pin. Gonna stick this right on here. Gonna grab it with my flat nose plier and do a little wire wrap. Just going around 3 or 4 times with that ball head pin. Okay, going to cut this off. Tuck it in, and now we have our freshwater pearl wire wrapped right onto our little connector, or our little dangle. Okay, so now I'm going to take an eye pin. I am going to hook the little dangle to the eye pin. I'm going to take it off this jump ring just because I don't want the extra space, you know, I don't want it to hang that low. So this is a thick jump ring too, daggone. I'm going to take it off of there if I can. Doesn't want to open. My goodness. That's a thick jump ring. I wonder if it's not completely, yeah, I don't think it was completely cut through. Okay, and I'm going to hang this directly onto the head pin, okay, or the eye pin, just like that. Close that up. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to go straight up through here. Now, ideally you want to let this dry, but I did not. So I'm just going to work with it and, you know, just be very careful, but let yours dry first. But I didn't do that, so I'm going to just work with it here. It's going to come loose, but I'll just push it back. Okay, so I'm going to bend this at a 90-degree angle, and I'm going to make a wrapped loop. And I'll just have to put that back down on there when it's a little more solid and I'm not messing with it. Okay, so I'm going to go Get a good hold on it. Wow, it's not wanting me to get a good hold on it. See, part of the problem is this is such a big hole right here that this eye pin's wanting to come through. So that's one reason. And you know what I'm going to do to stop that? Because I don't want it to, it eventually might break through there. I'm going to stick one of these little beads on if it'll go on this eye pin. And of course it won't because it's freshwater pearl. Bummer, man. Can't get that one on there either. Well, I don't, which means they're not going to go on the Coriana chain either. So I have them pulled out here to use on this, and I didn't even make sure that they would go on there. Let's try this guy. That'll work. And that'll stop it from coming up through there for sure. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now I'm going to make a wrap loop. So because this is a very delicate little area, I'm going to grab that right there and grab it below with my, and bend this 90 degrees. And that way I'm not stressing that shell until that bead cap can dry. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to come up and over. Did I just break the eye pin? The eye pin just broke. Good grief. Okay, well, that's not good. I've never really had that happen. It probably did it because I bent it and then I tried to put it back. Don't do that. Let me get that out of there and grab another one. I'm trying to hurry too because this video is getting long, but I want to show you guys all the 3 ways that you can use these shells. So this one we're using the inside, and it's just really the same as the scallop. We're turning it around and hanging something from the inside, but still I want you guys to see it because it's different and it's fun. Let's do this again. There we go. Up and over. It should not break. There, it's not going to this time. And right around. Grab it tightly. It doesn't want to be grabbed. And this I don't have to put through anything. I'm going to hang my chain directly on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap. I'm going to grab it and just wrap right here. And I'm going to try to wrap all the way down to the bead cap. Straighten it out if you can. Just be gentle. I mean, this is like, these are fragile. So, and I've gone around 2 or 3 times. That's good enough. I'm going to trim this off. Tuck it in a little. Okay. So here's what we have. It's really, really pretty. And I like that the little pearl is going to hang down below. And now we're just going to take it, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to use my Coriana chain on this one because I use these tiny little freshwater pearls, which I did not put in your kit, so don't worry. Your chain will fit whatever beads I put in there. I did check it. But I am going to do a little beaded area just using some bead stringing wire, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bead right on this. And I've got glue all over my fingers now. That's okay. So I'm going to do a freshwater pearl on each side. Just like that. And then these pieces, which I thought were just gorgeous and matched that so well. Then I'm going to do a couple of these beads, these spacers, and I do have these spacers on my website as well. All of this, a lot of this stuff is on my website singly, like the Coriana chain is on there on its own. You know, these spacer beads are on there. I have all kinds of other beads on there. I've got frosted glass, which looks like sea glass, that would be really pretty with this. I also, and some of the kits have the frosted glass in them. I also have pearls, of course. So if you want to check that out, you can. But I do have a lot of the products as well as the kits. The kits are just, you know, the work's done for you. It's curated. It's the beads are matched up and all that. So it's done for you. So I'm just beading up each side of this chain or this bead stringing wire. Just trying to get a few pretty beads on here. This is a beautiful color too, this teal. I'm going to do a few more of these spacers. I like to layer these. They are twisty, so when you put them back to back, they look, you know, they give a lot of texture to the project, like that. And then I'm going to add on probably 2 more freshwater pearls on each side. Come on now, here's the hole. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay, there we go. Actually, I probably need to bead up a little bit more because I need the length. I don't have a lot of the other chain there. I was going to use the Coriana, but I really wanted to use these freshwater pearls and they wouldn't fit on there. All right, let's do a couple more of these. You do have to be careful not to get so many beads on, though, that you can't put your closure or, you know, end your chain there, which I could be doing, so we'll see here. Which way did I turn that? This way? And we'll go ahead and throw this guy on here. Wow, this color is just beautiful. And 2 more little freshwater pearls on each end, and then I think I'm about out of these freshwater pearls. So we'll do 2 there and 2 over here. And I'm sorry, I know this video is getting long, but I really wanted y'all to see the ways to do this. Okay, so now here we have, where's my other crimp tube? So here's my 2 clamshells. And I'm missing my other crimp tube. There it is. Okay, so I've got my 2 crimp tubes and my clamshells. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and pull out a couple wire guardians since I had to revamp this little guy. Okay, and I'm going to crimp this the correct way, not using these clamshells. I'm just going to use the wire guards. So I'm going to take my crimp tube. I'm going to go up one side of the wire guard and around and down through the other, the little other little channel there. Then I'm going to go back down through my crimp tube. Actually, I'm going to hook this chain on first because this chain, it only, let's see here. I want to make sure this chain, it doesn't open. It's closed link chain. I really kind of want to use this though. It's really pretty. So let me open this and take the pieces off. So you have to find the middle, which I just did, and then this one little link, you know, will have to come off. And then I've got even parts here. And I'm going to see how long this ends up being, but anyway, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it right through this chain, right here. And then I'm going to go back down through my crimp tube. And I don't think that it won't go back through the little beads. So I'm just going to have to go back down through my crimp tube by itself, and that's going to have to be sufficient. It won't go through that again. Okay, so now I'm just going to lay. I don't want everything to fall off this other side. Okay, let me grab this. So you don't want your wires to be crossed. If you can keep your wires from being crossed, that's very good. So they're side by side. And I'm going to lay this crimp in the bottom, in this divot on my plier, and smash it down. Then I'm going to turn it vertically, and I'm going to close it up in the little divot here. Okay, so there is my little crimp. When I pull tight, it's very secure. And the thing is, I'm going to have to trim it up near, let me do this one more time. That didn't, for some reason, this is a good quality crimp tube too. It didn't fold over like it's supposed to. There we go. That time it did. Oh, but it wasn't secure apparently. All right, let me grab another one. So that's what will happen if you don't get your crimp tube closed up correctly, which is what I did. These are good quality crimp tubes. I just didn't do it right. So let's do it again. We put it on, we go up through one side of our wire guard. I think I was more concerned about not having my beads fall off the other end, which I don't want to happen, but I should put a bead bug on. But still, I gotta do this right. Okay. And then I'm gonna put my thing in there, and then I'm gonna go back down through my crimp tube. So we'll do this correctly this time. I don't think that I pressed it hard enough when I crimped it down in the little divot. All right, get up in there. Okay, so there it is. My wires, again, I'm trying to make sure they're side by side and not crossed. Let me turn this way. It's a little bit easier for me if I'm coming from this direction for some reason. There we go. So I'm holding my wires. I'm going to take this again, go in the divot, and crimp it down very firmly. That looks much better than it did last time. Turning it vertically and closing it up. Yeah, that's much better. Now it's not going to come undone. And my beads are falling off the other side. Okay. So I'm just going to trim this out, this little tail, because he's not going to go into that little freshwater pearl. Their holes are so tiny. I'm just going to trim it right there. We're going to do the other side. These two came off. Let's put them back on. Come on now. It knows I'm trying to hurry. Okay, I'm going to grab a crimp tube, because I destroyed my other one. Okay, and same thing. Going into the crimp tube. Now I've lost my wire guard. I'm very unorganized today. There it is. Okay. Going up through this wire guardian, around and down. I'm going to go ahead and put this chain on because these are closed links. So unless I want to hook it on with a jump ring, which I don't really, I'm just going to go directly on the wire guard. And then going back down through the crimp tube and out because it won't go through that freshwater pearl. Then I'm pulling tight and making sure there is nothing loose, okay? And I'm trying to make sure that my wires are not crossed. It's a little harder on this end, but, you know, just try to. Pressing down very firmly and then turning 90 degrees, and we're going to close it up. Very firmly. Pull on it, make sure nothing's going to come undone, and then you can trim your tail. Okay, so that's very good. That's crimped very tightly, and you just want to make sure that it is crimped very tightly because you definitely couldn't get through. You know, the tail is right there. You had to trim it right there. One way to secure this, if you wanted to, if you're worried about that crimp area right there, you could put a crimp cover over that and put some E6000 in there. Okay, so here's what we've got. Now this is way too short to be a necklace on its own, so it's only, you know, it's just tiny. So I'm just going to get in my chain stash. And why is there an extra? Yeah, there's one extra one over here. That's okay. I'm going to take it off. I'm just going to get in my chain stash and see what I've got. So I'm going to pull out some chain. And I'm just going to find a link chain that I feel like looks cute with it. And I'm just going to add another. So this is kind of cute here. I don't want anything too big because this is pretty big. And so what you can do is you can take this. You can even take a couple of eye pins. Let me do this. Take a couple of eye pins and make a link. So, you know, I don't think the freshwater pearls, and I've only got one left, it won't fit on here, but I could do this. I could do a couple of these guys and one of these and a couple more of these. So I've made a link here. I'm just going to make a loop, like a normal loop. Roll this back. These are really hard sometimes to roll that loop back without it spinning around. Okay. And then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to hook it right onto my chain here, like that, and hook it right onto my new chain that I'm going to use up here. And there you've made a decorative little element, and you've hooked the two chains together because you needed the extra chain, so you had to kind of do something, but you've made it look like that it, you know, it's a decorative little element there. And I'm going to make sure this is closed really well, because it will come out if it's not. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. There we go. So again, I like these kind of necklaces to be about, I don't know, 23 inches or so long. So I'm going to measure about 13 inches per side. Right about there. I'm going to cut it. The cutters are very dull. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this other side to make this little link. So same exact thing. Piece of this shell. Let's use this one. This one looks like it would match pretty well the other one. And then 2 pieces of the spacers. Same thing. Just going to make a loop. Okay, just like that. Gonna hook it to both of my chains. One here. Close it up real good. Grab this piece. One over here. Close that up real good. Okay. Measure this the same. And cut it. So there are so many ways that you can create beautiful jewelry with the seashells. Now I'm just going to hook my lobster on with a couple of jump rings. So here's this jump ring that we took off of the connection piece. I'll use it. I can get it closed again. It was really hard to even get open. Okay, and then I could use this big link that matches the chain on the other end. I'm going to take one of these off and put this one on. And that will make a really cute little closure for my lobster because it matches the chain down below. Okay, so just put that on. And this chunky chain, I got this at Joann's. They still have it, I think. But I got it when they had everything on sale, but it's very pretty chain. I really like it. So here is our third necklace. And so that is 3 different ways that you can use the shells to make beautiful and unique jewelry. Okay, and I'm gonna put them on a form here in a second and show you. And if you don't want your beads to float like this, you can just take a crimp bead and crimp it down right there on the chain so it won't float, but it doesn't really bother me. But there are the 3. And I will put them on a form and be right back so you can see them. Okay, so here they are in my lovely light box. Here is our scallop. And then here's our flat shell with its charm. And there is our beautiful, I guess it's a clam shell with a charm. And of course our chain detail on this one turned out really cool. So there are so many ways you can use these shells. Like I said, I have kits in the store. If I will link all that in the description box below, and you can go check them out, see if there's anything you like. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm sorry it got so long. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.